A pleasant afternoon again to everybody. Welcome to our Tuesday class, which is reading comprehension. It's already 5:05 in the afternoon. Okay, we 20 participants with 20 kids this afternoon. So what we are going to do is we will continue reading. We will continue reading with our reading text, which is about great expectations. And last meeting, I was also, what do you call that one? I gave you vocabulary words. Okay, it's not last time because last week I wasn't able to meet the class, but it was the other week. If you can still remember anyone from the class who can give me the vocabulary words. Anyone who was able to do recordings or was able to write down. You can still recall, I gave the words ventured, retired, victoriously. You also have scarecrow, equaled, spectacle, vengeance. So, just a short recap of the story. Joe, together with his sister, they went to church that night because usually, especially during Christmas, on Christmas Eve, you go to church, And what happened in the church? In church, he was able to do a confession because he was so sorry of the things that he did days before that day. Can still recall the little boy took things from the house of his sister. So you have it here on lines 55. So Joey or Joe and I going to the church. We have finished reading this one. Again, they are celebrating Christmas Day. So let's try to read 66 to 72. Let's have 66 to 72. Nicolas, can I have you to read?
Number 66 to 71.
Until 70.
70?
22.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Please finish 66 to 72.
72, okay. Mr. Wolfs, the clerk at church, was to dine with us. And Mr. Hubble, the wheelwright, and Mrs. Hubble, and Uncle Tom Butchok, Joe's uncle, but Mrs. Joe appropriated him, who was as well to do Kunshandar in the nearest town, and drove with his own chaise cart. The dinner hour was 1:30 when Joe and I got got home, we found a table laid and Mrs. Joe dressed and the dinner dressing, and the front door unlocked. It never was at any other time for the company to enter by, and everything was splendid. And still not a word of the robbery.
And still not a word of robbery. Do you perhaps know what robbery is, Nicholas? What is robbery?
Um,
Robbery means it is stealing or getting things that belongs to other people. For a while. Okay, please take note of the word robbery. That means getting or stealing things that are not yours. Okay, because that's what the boy did in the house. He get things does not belong to him because he gave it to the man he met at the cemetery. So I'll be writing it here, the word robbery. I hope you also take down notes of it. Okay, thank you, Nicolas, for reading.
you're welcome, Miss.
So the time came without bringing with it any relief to my feelings as a family. So their family was expecting Mr. Not Mr., but they're expecting Mr. Happle, Mr. Whoopsel to be with them during dinner. So Whoopsel, united to a Roman nose and a large shiny bald forehead, had a deep voice with which he was uncommonly proud of. Indeed, it was understood among his acquaintance that if you could only give him his head, he would read to the clergyman and he himself confessed that if the church was thrown open, meaning to competition, he would not despair of making his mark. So, Mr. Wopsle, what's the work of Mr. Wopsle, or where is Mr. Wopsle? Where is Mr. Wopsle working?
In the church.
Yeah, he is working
Yes.
at a church. Okay, that's good, Mark. So,
Thank you.
I'll continue reading. That's why the church, not being thrown open, was, as I have said, our Lord. But he banished the infant tremendously, and when he gave out the psalm, always giving the whole verse, he looked all around the congregation first, as much as he could. You have heard my friend overhead. Oblige me with your opinion of this style. Okay, look at this sentence. Mark, could you please read that highlighted word?
I think it's easy. You have heard my friend overhead oblige me with your opinion of the style.
Yeah, with that highlighted sentence, Mark,
What is oblige?
it's obliged, meaning you are uh, not that forced to do, but you are going to do something. Example, I am obliging Mark to be the leader in this group. Okay, so I am giving the responsibility to Mark, taking up a responsibility. That's what oblige.
What about the overhead? Is it
Over, overhead. Where's your head? It's overhead. Just the literal
overhead?
of it. Okay, what type of sentence is that, Mark? Look at how it is constructed. And the
The type of the sentence where it's highlight?
yes.
Let me check.
Yes. Is it declarative, interrogative, imperative, or exclamatory?
Let's see. Explanatory?
Yes, it's an exclamatory sentence. Okay, that's
There's
good.
a exclamation mark there.
Yes, there's a mark there. Okay, with that one, I would like you to continue reading 83 to 86, Mark.
I opened the door to the company, making believe that it was as a habit of ours to open the door, and I opened it first to Mr. Wapso, next to Mr. and Mrs. Hubble, and last of all to Uncle Pumblechook, and .B. I was not allowed to call him uncle under the severest penalties. Is it on church?
Penalties. Mark, how do you read this one?
Mr.
Excuse me. How do you read this?
Mr.
This one is Mr. How about this? It is
Mr.
come again.
Mr.
Mark, this is not Misters. Mrs.
Mr.
Okay, Mr. This one is the abbreviation for Mr. That's what you're going to address to a boy. But if you're referring to a man, to a woman, you're to a married woman. Okay, you can Mrs. Okay, not Misters, right? Mister, this one is Mrs. This one is for the man, this one is for woman.
The married one. Mr. Hubble is married.
Yeah, a married man. Mark, is my voice loud? Is that okay?
For me, yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mark. Okay, so what's the name of his uncle? What's the name of his uncle?
The type of the highlight word.
What's the name of his uncle? His uncle is Uncle Pambo.
Chuk.
Okay, but
Bambuchuk or bambuko.
and under severest penalty. I hope we can find out the reason why he is not allowed to call him uncle. Okay, so let's have it here. Mrs. Joe, said Uncle Pumblechook, a large, hard-breathing, middle-aged, slow man. Okay, when you say hard-breathing, middle-aged, slow man, is his uncle too young? Is he too young?
Young boy.
Is his uncle very young when you say hard-breathing, middle-aged, slow man?
Middle-aged, slow man. A hard-breathing, more like grandpa or grandma.
Mark, why is your voice too soft?
Huh? Am I not very loud?
Okay, what were you trying to say, Mark?
Doesn't matter anymore. Is that mean supposed to be grandpa or grandma?
Not literally grandma and not literally grandpa, because when you say middle age, he is aging somehow 45 to 65. Not that young and not not that too old, right? Okay,
Yeah.
middle. Take note of that one. I'll
Your
be
voice is a bit, your voice is a bit low.
take note of this one. I highlighted it. Middle age. Okay, it is a person aging from 45 years old to 65 years old, not too young and not too old. Okay, so that he'll look as if he had just been out through and that moment come too. I have brought you as the complement of the season. I have brought you, Mom, a bottle of sherry wine. And I have brought you, Mom, a bottle of port wine. Okay. So what presents did Mr. Uncle or did Mr. Pumblechook bring along with him? What was his present to the family? When you say present, that's what you mean by gifts. Okay, what are the gifts of Mr. Pumblechook to the family? Anybody? What are his gifts to the family? He was bringing with him. Maybe other kids would like to answer.
I cannot hear you, Miss.
Yes, Alfonso.
I cannot hear you.
Hello.
Hello, teacher.
The voice is now clear.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello, teacher.
Hi, teacher. Hello. Try maybe super loud.
Hello. How about this time? Can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, teacher, I can hear you.
Now I can hear you.
Hear Miss.
My voice too soft for you?
Now it's a bit low. Now that was low. That's low.
Not now again.
Your voices on my end are very soft. Maybe for a while.
So maybe microphone issue.
Okay, how about this time? Is it hello?
I can hear you, but it's not very loud.
Hello?
Hello, Miss.
Hello, teacher.
My voice now?
Hello, Miss.
Hello.
Catherine, your teacher.
Yes, teacher, I can hear you.
Is it loud enough for you to hear?
No, teacher.
I will say it's not if it's raining.
And I don't know what happened. It's just that it's functioning very slow.
Functioning very low. Slow.
Yeah, because sometimes I can hear your voice is very loud and sometimes it becomes so soft. Quite slow.
Maybe if I can do this. Is it loud? And is it affecting the microphone, you mean?
Okay. My microphone is not that performing well. Okay, but now okay. Can you Mark, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
I
So
can hear you.
a while ago, what present did Mr. Uncle Pumblechook brings along with him? What was his presents to the family? When you say presents,
A bottle, a present, a bottle of sherry wine, and I have brought, wait, mom, a bottle of port wine. Don't say
very
mom.
with him, he brings a bottle of sherry wine and a bottle of port wine. Let's continue with our readings now.
Miss?
Please take note of those items. Maybe it will happen or that happened. It will come out in the test next meeting. Okay, Catherine, can I have you for the next paragraph?
Teacher. Every Christmas day he presents himself as a profound novelty with exactly the same words and carrying the two bottles like dumbbells. Every Christmas day, Mrs. Joe replied, as she now replied, "Oh, Uncle Pumblechook, this is kind." Every Christmas day he returned, as he now returned, "It's no more than your merits. And now are you all bobbish? And how's 6 pen'orth of halfpence, meaning me?"
Okay, very good. Thank you for reading it well, Catherine. Very good.
Excuse me, Miss.
Yes, Grace.
Sorry, I'm late to join the Zoom, Miss.
Oh, yeah. It's okay, Grace.
Okay, Miss.
Before teacher will continue, can I talk first to Nicolas? Nicolas?
Yes,
Nicolas,
miss.
Nicolas, teacher would like to greet you a happy, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Nicolas.
Yes, thank you, miss.
Okay, everybody, please greet Nicolas a happy birthday.
Yes, miss, thank you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Nicolas.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
How old are you now, Nicolas? How old are you now?
Sorry, teacher, I late.
I'm now 8.
Wow, you're already 8 years old. It's okay, Zelda. Okay. I hope you have a happy celebration, Nicolas, together with your family.
Yes, miss, thank you.
Well, today is July 9. A happy, happy birthday.
Thank you, miss.
Yes, okay. So let's go back now to the paragraph read last by Catherine. Okay, so you have that one. So every Christmas day, Mr. Pumblechook presented himself as a profound novelty. So, okay, so we knew already that he brought a bottle of sherry wine and port wine. He used to carry those bottles like dumbbells. Okay, so let's have first this word. I will
Very word.
highlight it. Okay, Tristan, how do you read the highlighted word?
Bobbish. So easy.
Tristan,
Yes, Miss.
okay, read the highlighted word. It is
Can you, Miss, can you repeat again?
How are you going to read the highlighted word?
Rubbish.
Okay, in the chat box, okay, could you please check what rubbish means? Kristen, in the chat box, could you please check what rubbish means?
Rubbish mean being in good spirits.
Okay, please write it down in your notes. One of the vocabulary words for this afternoon. Okay, everybody, could you please excuse me for a while. I'll try to get another earphone or headphone for me. Okay, please give me a minute.
Okay. While you're getting your headphone, Mr. Main, I'm just going to sleep. I'm asleep now.
Okay, hello.
Hello, Miss.
Sir.
Okay, can you hear?
Hello, Mr. Main.
Hello, Miss.
Hello,
Yes, can you,
Miss.
Hello,
hello?
Miss.
Can you
Hello,
hear me?
Miss.
I can hear it.
Okay, very
Sounds
good.
good.
Is it all good now, Mark?
All good. Except
Okay,
when the rain comes.
okay, it's all good now, and thankfully I can hear your loud voices now. Okay, that's good. Okay, so again, I want you to take note of this word. You have bobbish, Bobbish, which means being in good spirits. Okay, this one is quite long, so I would like to ask Noel to read. Noel,
Yes, miss.
okay, could you please read this paragraph?
We dined on these occasions in the kitchen and adjourned for the nuts and oranges and apples to the parlor, which was a change very like Joe's change from his working clothes to his Sunday dress. My sister was uncommonly lively on the present occasion, and indeed was generally more gracious in the society of Mrs. Hubble than in other company. I remember Miss Hubble as a little curly, sharp-edged person in sky blue, who held a conventionally juvenile position because she had married Mr. Hubble. I don't know at what remote period, when she was much younger than he. I remember Mr. Hubble as a tough, high-shouldered, stooping old man, of a sawdusty fragrance, with his legs extraordinarily wide apart, so that in my short days I always saw some miles of open country between them when I met him coming up the lane.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Noel, for reading it well. Okay, so What was being emphasized in this paragraph is that these are descriptive of Mrs. Hubble. Is the description of what kind of a person Mrs. Hubble is. Okay, I want you to take note of this vocabulary word. This one is juvenile. Okay, honey, how do we read this word?
Juvenile.
Come again.
Juvenile.
How do we spell juvenile?
G
Ray,
U
Ray.
J U V A E N I L juvenile. Juvenile.
Okay, you have juvenile. Please check the chat box for the definition, honey, and please read it to everybody. Juvenile means
Juvenile. Juvenile relating to young people.
relating. Come again, relating.
Relating to young people.
Okay, juvenile, relating to young people. Okay, take note of that one. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome, miss.
Okay, among this good company, I should have felt myself, even if I hadn't rubbed the palm tree in a false position, not because I was squeezed in an acute angle of the tablecloth, with the table in my chest and the Pambuchokian elbow in my eye, nor because I was not allowed to speak. I didn't want to speak, so the boy was very astonished, and not astonished. He was very silent because he is not allowed to speak. On the other hand, he is not speaking because um, not just he is not allowed, but he really doesn't want to talk. Okay. So let's have here. But they wouldn't leave me alone. They seemed to think the opportunity lost if they failed to point the conversation at me every now and then and stick the point into me. I might have been an unfortunate little bull in a Spanish arena. I got so smartingly touched up by these moral goats. Oh, okay. Let's find out what do we mean by goats. I thought it's good. Okay. Okay, I have another vocabulary word in the chat box. Enda, could you please read what is it, Enda?
Goats provoke or annoy.
Okay, if you're going to provoke or annoy another person, of course that person will not be happy. So as a sign of respect, okay, the little boy just keep quiet. Okay? He doesn't want to provoke anybody. Of course, who wants to have to be in not a good situation, especially if it's Christmas evening. Okay, so when you say goats, okay, you have to provoke or annoy. Okay, it's very good that I can see Josephine writing down. Are you writing down, Josephine? Josephine,
Yes, miss.
are you writing down?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Okay, let's continue. Okay, Inda, can I have you again to read the next paragraph?
Okay, miss. It began the moment we sat down to dinner. Mr. Wopsle said grace with theatrical declamation, as it now appears to me, something like a religious cross of the goose in Hamlet with Richard III, and ended with the very proper aspiration that we might be truly grateful. Upon which my sister fixed me with her eye and said in a low, reproachful voice, "Do you hear that? Be grateful."
Okay, do you hear that? Be grateful. Okay, when we say, do you hear that? What type of sentence in there?
Um,
It's a what?
interrogative
Yes,
sentence.
because it's a question. But how about if I say, be grateful? Be grateful.
Imperative.
Yeah, very good. It's an imperative. Thank you, Alfonso. It's an imperative sentence. Be grateful because you're telling someone to be grateful or thankful. Okay, if you say be grateful in our grammar class, the subject is not directly given. What's the subject in that sentence? Be grateful. What's the subject? The subject is Mark.
Yeah.
Yes. I hope you can still recall in our discussion yesterday. If the subject is not directly given in an imperative sentence, automatically or it is understood that the subject is be grateful.
Yeah, be grateful.
Yes,
So you need to be great.
yes. It's understood that the subject is you. Y-O-U. Because it's the subject is not clearly given. What are you grateful for, Mark? What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for life. Grateful
Yes,
for Lord. Grateful for God.
yes. That's so good, Mark. Thank you. How about you, Alfonso? What are you grateful for? Alfonso, what are you grateful for?
I'm very grateful to my parents.
Yes, especially for all the love and care that he has given to you. Okay, thank you. How about Mariana? What are you grateful for, Mariana?
I'm the same with Alfonso.
Grateful for your parents. How about Josephine?
Yes, miss.
What are you grateful for?
For my family.
Yes, for your family. And you know what? If you'll be asking me what am I grateful for aside from my life, aside from everything that God has given me, I'm grateful for the opportunity of meeting all of you. Okay, I'm grateful for my work here in TIS. Okay, I'm grateful to see all your faces, your beautiful smiles. Okay, so let's continue to be grateful for everything that we receive, may it be small or big. So Mr. Pambolchuk said, especially be grateful, boy, to them which brought you up by hand. Okay, who brought the boy into what he is right now? It is his sister and his sister's husband because he doesn't have his parents along with him. Okay, let's continue reading. We're done with the reading. How about maybe Farrell would like to open his microphone. Farrell,
Yes, miss.
okay, please have this. Okay, please 124 to 128.
Mr. Hubble shook her head and complimented me with a moral presentiment that I should come to no good exit. Why is it that the young are never grateful? This moral mystery she made too much for the company
until Mr. Hubble easily solved it by saying natural
Naturally wishes.
natural wishes. Everybody then mur- mur-
Murmured.
murmured through and looked at me in a parali terlihat and personal
Unpleasant and personal
man-
manner.
manner.
Okay. Um, I encourage everybody that if I am going to ask you to read, I want you to, to do your best. Especially not all are given the chance to read. For you to be very good in reading, you need to practice reading. Although some of the words here are really hard to, really hard to read because not in your level. Okay, so we have here Mrs. Hubble shook her head and contemplating me with a mournful presentiment that I should come to no good ask. Why is it that the young are never grateful? So Mrs. Hubble was questioning, oh, why are the young ones never grateful? So this moral mystery seemed too much for the company until Mr. Hubble tersely solved it by saying, naturally wishes. Everybody then murmured, and looked at me in a particularly unpleasant and personal manner. So we would like first to give what a naturally, well, naturally wishes, um, somehow you will say naturally wishes. Okay, what is wishes? The wishes. Let's highlight it. Hey, Josephine, how do we spell wishes?
Yes, Miss.
How do we spell wishes?
Wicions.
Okay, check the chat box. What does it mean? It means
Cruel or violent.
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 Okay, naturally wishes. Okay, naturally,
Wait, I have a question.
yes.
Don't you think it's similar to fishes?
When we give definition, especially we somehow give its synonym. So when you say wishes, that means the synonym for it is cruel. We can also say it's violent. So those are synonymous, Mark, meaning same definition or same meaning. So what does that statement says here? What does it mean? So if persons or a person is not grateful, if if he or she doesn't have gratefulness in his or her heart, she or he is vicious, or he is cruel. She is cruel or violent. Because what's really important is for us to be grateful for everything that we have. So when Mr. Habo says naturally vicious, everybody in the table say that it is true because for them It is really good to be grateful, especially the young ones. Okay, like you should value or you should learn how to be grateful on things that you have. Okay, let's continue. I would like to talk to Felicia.
Yes, Miss.
Okay, please read lines 129 to 133, please. That's one.
Okay. Joe's station and influence were something cleverer, if possible, when there was company than when there was not. But he always aided and comforted me when he could, in some way of his own, and he always did so at dinner time by giving me gravy. If there was if there were any, there there being plenty of gravy today. Juice soon into my plate at this point, about half a pig.
Okay, thank you, Felicia.
You're welcome, Miss.
Okay. So the little boy in the story feels something that's not good. But what the good thing here is Joey, the husband of his sister, um, always makes sure that he will feel good or easy. So he gave the little boy some food to eat just to assure him that everything's good or going good that day. So a little later on in the dinner, Mr. Wopsle reviewed the sermon with some severity and intimidated in the usual hypothetical case of church being thrown open. Okay, so Mr. Wopsle is not yet over with the church being thrown open. Okay, so with that one, Uncle Pumblechook said, "True again. You've hit it, sir. Plenty of subjects going about for them that know how to put salt upon their tails. Okay, put salt upon their tails. Okay, that's what's wanted. A man needn't go far to find a subject if he's ready with his salt back. So look at pork alone. There's a subject. If you want a subject, look at pork. Okay, let's highlight it as one. Put salt upon their tails. Okay, if you are going to give it literal meaning, okay, you will say, "Oh, I am going to put salt on my tail." By the way, do you know what salt is? Do you know what salt is? It is used as what do you call that one? If your mother is cooking, your sisters are cooking to make the food taste good, you are going to put a pinch of salt into that food. Okay, put salt upon their tail. I'll be putting what it means in the chat box for a while. Put salt. Okay, its definition is not the literal definition. You're going to put salt on their tails. Okay, what does it mean? It is to capture or pin down someone. Okay, again, when you say put salt upon their tails, that is to capture or pin down someone. Okay. So, for example, I think it's an idiomatic expression. Okay, put salt upon their tails. It's an idiomatic expression. The meaning is not the what do you call it? The literal meaning of the words used, but there's a hidden meaning on it. Okay, to capture or pin down someone. Okay, for example, there is a superstitious belief here. Okay, if you're going to sprinkle salt on bird's tail, that that bird can't or will be what do you call it, unable to fly. So in that way, you are pinning down someone, okay, to capture or pin down someone. That's what the hidden meaning of putting salt upon their tail. Okay, so you have it here. The next paragraph. Okay, Alfonso.
Yes, miss.
Okay, I want. Okay, this one, please.
Okay. True, sir. Many moral of for the young, returned Mr. Wopsle, and I knew he was going to let me in. Before he said it, might be deduced from that text. You listen to this, said my sister to me, in the several parentheses. Joe gave me some more gravy.
Okay, so why are they talking about moral? Okay, why are they talking about moral for the young? When you say moral, it is identifying whether the certain act is good or bad, or right or wrong. Okay, so you know their topic is very serious because we know that they are working at the church. So basically, they are holy. Okay, they are very novel in on their doings. Okay, making sure that what they're doing are all good. Okay, what they want to do is to instill to the young man, to the young boy, and to everyone that, uh, to instill to the young boy or everyone such lessons in life. Example, to be grateful. So that's why this his sister said, "Oh, you need to listen that one. You need to listen to this conversation." But on the other hand, Joe gave him some more gravy. Gravy, so it's a sauce maybe for what they're going to eat that day. So so the next paragraph is quite long. Okay, but never mind. Okay, it's okay. Alfonso,
Okay, I'm ready.
yes.
Swarm. First, pursued Mr. Wopsle in his deepest voice, and pointing his fork at my blushes as if he were mentioning my Christian name. Swine were the companions of the prodigal. The gluttony of swine is put before us as an example to the young. Thought this pretty well in him who had been praising up the pork for being so plump and juicy. What is detestable in a pig is more detestable in a boy.
Okay. Mark, you're raising your hand, Mark. Thank you, Alfonso.
Welcome.
Mark, you're raising your hand.
I'm raising my hand because we're almost run out of time. Yeah, it's almost out of what? It's almost 6 p.m.
Okay, I already stopped presenting my screen. I think your next teacher is already here with us. Okay, please do not forget about the vocabulary words, okay, as well as the discussion. Probably next meeting, a test will be made for you to test your comprehension next time.